Hey, what's up everyone? So we're gonna go ahead and jailbreak on iOS 13.6. For those of you familiar with the channel, if you saw my last video, it's the same exact process of jailbreaking it as we did in iOS 13.5.1. The same exact thing works for iOS 13.6. CheckRa1n does allow you to jailbreak on iOS 13.6, and it's actually very easy and very quick. I just wanted to mention the requirements real quick before we start. You do need to have a USB. And then if you have an Intel computer or AMD processor, this should work for either of them. I'm running an Intel 64-bit, but I believe you can run this on an AMD processor, and I believe the jailbreak was actually made for the AMD processor. So let's get right to it. It's actually very simple. You're going to go here, and then on the internet, you want to put in balena.io /etcher. I'm going to have that link in the description. And of course, you want to make sure you download it. Again, I think it's only available for Windows 64-bit. So just in case, if you have a 32-bit, I don't know if it's going to work for you. But MacOS and LinuxOS, there is compatibility. So you want to download balenaEtcher, save the file, of course, and then set it up. And then you're also going to go on this website, GitHub /Azimuth /CheckNix, and then /releases. I'm going to put that link in the description. And then you're going to scroll all the way down here, and you want to go to CheckNix 1.0.6 AMD 64. If you see this, you might be concerned. Just say, hey, this is AMD. I have Intel, but it actually works for either or. I've tried it on both. The only difference is if you use this on an Intel, it might show up a little bit weird when you try to run certain commands, or you press a button like enter or something. It looks a little bit different. It works a little bit different on an Intel because it was made for AMD. But also in my description, I'm going to put another link that you can use for Intel that you can actually try. And I believe it's, instead of CheckNix, it's actually Rain USB. Either one is going to help you to get CheckRa1n running on your computer. So you want to click on that, and then you're going to save the file. So those are the only two files you need, and you need a USB. The next step is very simple. You're going to run balenaEtcher. And as soon as it opens up here, basically it takes a second. And basically you want to click select image, and you just select that file that you downloaded. Now, for me, I already did this, so I'm not going to do this again, but it's the file you just downloaded, guys, and you want to make sure that you have a USB device. So it's going to ask you here, hey, which USB you want to use, and you just select your USB, and then you hit flash. After you flash it, it should be all set, and then you're going to boot your computer, and make sure when you boot your computer, I'll show you how to do that. Alright guys, so the next step is you want to power on your computer, and then you see where it says right here, display boot menu. So for me, it's F12. So I'm going to hit F12. For you, it might be F11 or whatever, but for me, it was F12 on my gateway computer. And then right here, you want to make sure you select your USB. So my USB is the very first one right here. This is just to power up your computer right here, but we're focused on this one. And it's going to say, welcome to Grub. Again, it's a 64-bit file, but, an AMD file, but it does work for Intel, so you guys can use this. Now, very importantly here, you want to make sure you connect your iPhone to the computer. So you want to make sure you have your USB and connect it to your iPhone in the computer, and then you want to make sure you hit options down here and select allow untested iOS, iPad OS, tvOS versions. This is very important because when you do this, it lets the Jailbreak know, it lets CheckRa1n know that you're going to be using an unsupported version. Because if you remember, this is actually not meant for later iOS. However, it still works, and that's why this is a great program, because even though it was made for I believe iOS 13 point perhaps 5 and before that, it still works for iOS 13.6. Once your computer is or your iPhone is connected to the computer, it's going to give you the steps right here. You do have to make sure your phone is turned on and connected, because then it's going to put your phone in recovery mode, and then it's going to guide you through. You just press the button right here, it's going to have a start, and then you just hit start, and it's going to walk you through everything, and it's very simple. The most important thing, guys, is that once this is all set with the jailbreak, it's gonna turn the phone on, and you have to look for what's called the CheckRa1n file on your phone, on the iPhone. And you click the CheckRa1n file, and then you can click install Cydia. And from there, it's very simple. I've decided I'm gonna just attach like a clip of what the CheckRa1n file looks like, so you guys can know. But it's very simple, very easy. And just so that people know, I actually have an iPhone 10, and I'm on 13.6, so I'm not sure if that should be able to help you guys decide if your iPhone is compatible. I always get comments, people asking if iPhone 11 is compatible. To be honest with you, I'm not very sure. It's worth a try, because then you can just restore your iPhone if it doesn't work. With that being said, though, make sure that you make a backup for your iPhone. But it's very simple. Let me know if you guys have any questions.